Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech, where we blend casual conversations with insightful discussions on the latest in technology and gadgets. Today we've got quite a stack of news. We're covering everything from rockets to regulatory fights. And honestly, the AI news this week is pretty wild.
It really is. What's fascinating here is just the sheer breadth of influence tech is having now. I mean, from how countries are trying to protect minors online to how we learn, even how fast cars can possibly go. It's a lot. Okay, let's unpack this.
Right, let's start with AI. We need to talk about the political maneuvering around AI infrastructure. OpenAI seems to be pushing the Trump administration.
Yeah, they're pushing hard to expand the CHIPS Act tax credit. Originally, that was all about boosting chip manufacturing in the U.S., right? Secure the supply chain. Now, OpenAI wants that credit to cover building these massive data centers needed for their models.
So basically using federal subsidies to fund their, enormous construction costs.
That's the goal. It shows the huge capital demands of scaling AI right now. But there's this interesting counterpoint happening coming out of Hollywood this week.
Oh, yeah.
The creator of Breaking Bad, Vince Gilligan. He specifically added a disclaimer to his new Apple TV show, Pluribus.
What did it say?
Simple. Made by humans.
Huh. Just straight up. That human touch seems really critical right now, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And you see the flip side when it goes wrong. Like Coca-Cola got some real blowback for its holiday commercial using generative AI.
Right. The polar bears, they looked a bit off.
Exactly. Unnaturally shiny part plastic, someone said.
Okay.
And the fur detail was inconsistent. It shows the text getting common. Some call it AI slop, but it's not always hitting the mark.
But they did disclose it, didn't they?
To their credit, yes. Right at the start. Created by real magic AI. So transparency is happening, maybe because the market's starting to demand it.
Speaking of AI creation, the video generator competition is really heating up. We saw a test comparing OpenAI's Sora 2 and Google's Veo 3.1, focusing on audio.
Yeah, and the results were surprisingly decisive. Veo 3.1 won 5-1 in the realism tests.
5-1. Why such a big gap?
It came down to complexity and following instructions. Think of Veo 3.1 as the audio engineer. It nailed really complex acoustic transitions.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, so imagine a prompt. Someone running down an alley opens a squeaky metal door, and their footsteps immediately echo in a big concrete stairwell.
Okay, lots of sound changes there.
Right. Veo handled that kind of layered sound, the occlusion, the transition, perfectly. Sora 2, on the other hand, is more the ambiance creator.
Meaning?
It often looks visually better, creates these really believable scenes, but it struggles with specifics. Like, it completely ignored a request for rain in one test.
Yeah.
It sets a mood, but Veo follows the technical script.
Interesting distinction. So what does all this AI tool improvement mean for, the average person trying to learn or work?
Well, Google just rolled out a pretty major update to Notebook LM that ties into this.
Notebook LM, the note-taking AI.
Exactly. This could be a game changer for students, researchers, anyone dealing with lots of information. It can now take your uploaded documents, PDFs, notes, whatever, and automatically generate flashcards and customizable quizzes.
Flashcards and quizzes straight from your notes. How does that work?
You can customize them by topic, difficulty, number of questions. It basically automates retrieval practice.
It's retrieval practice.
Yeah, instead of just passively rereading, which feels like learning but isn't very effective, quizzing forces your brain to pull the information out. That active retrieval is what actually makes you remember stuff long term. This just makes it way easier to do.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Big policy news affecting how people, especially younger people, use tech. Denmark announced plans to ban social media for under 15s.
Yeah, citing mental health concerns, it's a pretty significant move.
Are other countries doing this?
Definitely puts Denmark in line with places like Australia. Their ban actually takes effect this December. And the potential fines down there are hefty, up to $33 million for platforms like TikTok or Snapchat if they don't comply.
Wow. How are they planning to enforce it in Denmark? Just ask kids their age.
No, they're planning an official national age verification app. Parents could then use that app to grant access, maybe as young as 13, but only after some kind of assessment.
An official app. That sounds complicated.
It is, but it signals that the era of, just clicking, yes, I'm over 13 is probably ending.
This whole topic raises questions about personal boundaries with tech, especially the really addictive stuff like gambling apps.
Absolutely. Online sports betting is huge, $13.7 billion in revenue this year alone. But those push notifications from apps like FanDuel and DraftKings, they're designed to trigger impulsive behavior.
How bad is it?
One researcher made just 12 bets and got 93 notifications in a few weeks. 93.
That's a lot. Mostly ads.
Almost all marketing, yeah. Trying to get you back in. The recommendation here is pretty straightforward. If you use these apps, turn off those personalized push notifications immediately and use the app's own tools for self-imposed limits, time limits, spending limits. You kind of have to actively manage it.
Okay, let's talk gadgets. Hardware corner time. We have a winner, apparently, in the mid-sized tablet competition. The Lenovo Legion Tab Gen 3.
Yeah, if you're looking for an Android alternative to the iPad mini, this thing is compelling. It's got a small 8.8-inch screen, but surprisingly premium specs inside, like 12 gigs of RAM.
12 gigs on a small tablet. That's way more than usual, isn't it?
Triple what you usually find in budget tablets, yeah.
Oh.
It even beat the latest iPad 11th gen on Geekbench 6 scores.
Huh. Any other standout features?
The dual USB-C ports are a nice touch. One on the short side, one on the long side. Makes charging while holding it horizontally way easier, especially for gaming.
That's actually really practical. Any downsides?
The main complaint seems to be the included case. Apparently, it's pretty flimsy.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
And in headphones, we've got the Bose QuietComfort Ultra Gen 2 versus the Gen 1. Worth the upgrade.
Well, technically the Gen 2 is the winner. It fixed basically all the connectivity gripes people had with the Gen 1. It starts up faster, the multi-point connection is actually reliable now, and crucially, it now has passive playback using the O cable, plus USB-C for audio and charging.
Ah, passive playback. So it works even if the battery's dead, just with the cable.
Exactly. Essential for flights, or if you just run out of juice, that's a big plus.
So Gen 2 is better overall. But what about value?
That's the catch. If you can find the Gen 1 on a good sale, say around $329, it's probably the better bargain. The actual sound quality didn't change that much between them.
All right, finally in this segment, let's circle back quickly to that theme of transparency, or maybe lack thereof. The delayed T1 phone, the Golden Trump phone. Any updates?
Still delayed. It was supposed to ship in August, then October. Still hasn't materialized.
Still MIA. But wasn't there something about where it was made?
Right. Initially, it was marketed as entirely American-made, but then analysis suggested its design looked a lot like a base model made in China, the Wingtech RVVL7 Pro 5G. So Trump Mobile didn't claim they changed manufacturers. They just tweaked the language. Now it's designed with American values in mind.
Designed with American values. Okay. That's quite the pivot.
It really highlights how companies sometimes adjust their marketing when the supply chain details get scrutinized.
Okay, let's talk extreme tech now. Starting with speed on the track. Formula E, the electric racing series, is trying to step out of F1's shadow with its new Gen 4 car.
Oh, yeah. This thing is set to debut in the 2026-27 season, and the specs are wild. We're talking 0-60 miles per hour in just 1.8 seconds.
1.8 seconds. Wait, how does that compare to F1?
It's actually quicker off the line than a current F1 car.
Whoa, how much power does it have?
Around 600 kilowatts, which is over 815 horsepower, and it has active all-wheel drive.
Okay, that's serious speed. But Formula E is also about efficiency, right?
Exactly, and that's maybe even more impressive. The regenerative braking is so good it recovers 40% of its race power just from braking.
40%, just from slowing down.
Yep. It's basically a rolling lab for energy recovery. Plus, the car is built from 100% recyclable materials, speed and sustainability together.
Okay, from insane track speed to space travel. NASA's launching a mission to Mars called Escapade using Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket. And the fascinating part is the budget.
It really is. This is NASA's lowest cost Mars mission ever. The total budget is under $80 million.
Under $80 million. For Mars,
yeah.
Usually it's hundreds of millions or billions, right?
Exactly. And only about $55 million of that went into building the actual spacecraft, 2 small orbiters they've nicknamed Blue and Gold.
So what's the mission for these budget orbiters? What are Blue and Gold going to do?
They're going to study the Martian magnetosphere. That's the magnetic environment around Mars, which is key to understanding how the planet is losing its atmosphere over time.
Okay, why use 2 orbiters instead of just 1?
Oh, that's the clever part.
Yeah.
The Martian magnetosphere changes constantly, like minute by minute, depending on the solar wind blowing from the sun. A single orbiter just gives you a snapshot at one point. By using 2 orbiters flying in formation, they can measure the cause the solar wind hitting Mars and the effect how much atmosphere escapes almost simultaneously.
Ah, cause and effect. So you get a much clearer picture of how fast the atmosphere is actually eroding.
Precisely. And that data is critical if we're ever planning for humans to go there long term.
And this launch is also a pretty big deal for Blue Origin itself, isn't it?
Huge test for them. It's only the second flight for their new Glenn rocket, and they'll be attempting to land the first stage booster again for reuse.
Trying to join SpaceX in the reusable rocket club.
Exactly. If they nail this landing, it helps prove their system works and could really drive down launch costs further, making these kinds of super budget missions more feasible in the future. If we connect this back to the bigger picture for you, the listener, what really stands out across all these stories is how efficiency is driving things. Whether it's squeezing the budget for a Mars mission, or hyper optimizing energy recovery in a race car, or even automating retrieval practice to make your studying more efficient. That seems to be the key metric shaping the next decade of advanced tech.
So, here's something to think about as you go about your day. We talked about how addictive tech, like those betting app notifications, is engineered to pull you in constantly. Yet, think about the big Vegas casinos. Their whole economy saw a dip in tourism, but the giants aren't really threatened by the boom in online gambling. Why is that? It turns out non-gaming revenue, things like shows, restaurants, hotels, makes up something like 65 to 70% of their income on the Strip. They actually use those online apps and all that customer data mainly to funnel their most loyal online players back into their physical casinos, where they spend money on everything else. So the digital app isn't replacing Vegas, it's just becoming a really sophisticated marketing funnel for the real-world experience. Something to chew on. Thanks for tuning into Byte-Sized Tech. If you enjoyed this episode, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more fun tech discussions.